Erica Mena, welcome back.
Hello. It's been a long time, huh?
It's been, maybe 2, 3 years?
Since we sat down? Probably a little bit
Yeah.
longer than that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you look great. Congrats on
Thank
everything.
you.
So what's new with you these days? You know, we haven't talked in a couple of years. I know you're still out there doing your thing. Like, what are the new projects?
I have some new TV projects in the works right now that I really can't discuss because of contractual stuff. But the top of the year, you guys will be hearing about it. Honestly, I've just kind of been taking a lot of time to just really better myself physically, mentally, and just I'm ready for this extremely new chapter that's about to transpire that I feel like is definitely gonna help me become the person I'm supposed to be,
Yeah. So what are you focused on in this new chapter of your life?
Honestly, I've been going hard in the gym. The gym has been a big stress reliever of mine. It's also been a place that kind of just makes me super happy. It sounds corny, but I don't know. I just get my life now in the gym. And also just being a mom, being off of, Love and Hip Hop gives me so much time to just focus 24 hours a day, just being with my son. And I finally got the peace that I've always craved. So I'm just, I'm enjoying every minute of this moment right now.
Yeah. How old is your son now?
He's 9. He's
Okay.
9. He's so smart, so, well-spoken, well-behaved. I really lucked out with him.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, at one point, the situation with your son's father was kind of crazy. There was a fight that was
Yeah, no,
broadcast over the television.
we had some ugly times, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How is it these days?
We're like best friends. We really are. And honestly, I wish that people could see the kind of friendship we have because to co-parent, it's very hard. But to be able to be friends with, the other person that, we all go through our ups and downs, but to see us now and if you knew us then, it's like night and day. But it's also very inspiring, even for me, because it's I wish we had this a long time ago. But I don't feel like we would be so close and so open with each other like we are now had we not gone through all those troubled times. So,
how did you guys go from fighting each other to actually being best friends? What was the transition point?
Well, it was a lot of us accepting the fact that we would no longer be together, and then also, realizing that the only thing that matters is our child, and bringing him up in a healthy environment. And we also want him to be able to have both parents in his life, even though we're not literally together in a relationship. And now that he sees, the way we are with each other, it's kind of funny because he's actually the most happiest kid ever. So, it does a lot for your kid to see, both of their parents getting along. And then not on top of, on top of getting along, it's also the fact that you can actually, be around each other, holidays, and genuinely mean it. And it's not for publicity, a lot of people do it for publicity for the moment and then they go back to hating each other or whatever. But kids sense everything. So when that isn't in their life, that negative stuff isn't, going on with their parents, they get to really enjoy their childhood. And I think that's, what's very important above all things.
So there are some pictures that surfaced recently with you holding hands with a girl who I guess was Elian Molina. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys just friends or is this a relationship?
No, we're friends. We're really good friends. She actually, I met her because I casted her to be one of my models for my her clothing line, and she's also a very talented makeup artist. So, with work and stuff like that, we spend a lot of time with each other. But she's a phenomenal mother, a really, really good friend of mine, and we're both enjoying our life right now, and I think that's what you guys saw. We're just in the moment. We're friends that have each other's back. So that's really what it is. I don't know why the blogs, and mind you, I posted that so long ago, and the fact that they're just now trying to make a story off of this one picture is quite interesting to me. So.
Well, the reason why people ask is because you had a very public relationship with Sin Santana.
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah.
Now, since then, have you kind of gone back to the world with girls again, or are you strictly men?
I'm single and I'm an open bisexual person, and I'm proud to say that I am. Have I been on dates with women? Yes, I have. But no, I'm really enjoying this single life, I gotta be honest, like since my last 2 public relationships, like I've taken the time just for me, and it's been so liberating, and I'm doing extremely well just in that alone, that as far as relationship, if it happens, yes, but right now that's not like something that I'm out for right now.
Yeah,
relationships cause too much problems. Believe it or not.
this is true. But you're actually one of the few females that I know that actually gets into serious relationships with women. Because I know a lot of females who play with women, who have threesomes for their man, or just
no,
like...
it's serious to me.
Yeah.
I don't,
yeah,
and it's funny because
serious.
I get bashed a lot, like, oh, she's confused, or she's a hoe because she's bisexual and all that stuff. It's just who I am. I have an interest. I'm that woman that if I like a woman, I'm gonna go for it. If I like a man, I'll go for it. But it's funny because in each one, I'm very different. With women, I'm more dominating, and with men, I'm more, I play my position as a woman.
So you're saying you're more submissive around
Yeah,
men?
I'm definitely more submissive when it comes to being with a man. But yeah.
Well, outside the sexual part, what's really the difference between a serious relationship with a man and a woman?
I mean, there's huge differences. I mean, when it comes to being with a woman, you have more challenges. And you got to be careful because there's a lot of women that kind of, use you for their own, their own game plan, I should say. So I feel like with women, you have to be careful because they're more, I don't know, they have ulterior motives, And even with guys, like guys have to be careful with women. Women, you just never know. With a man, not so much. But matter of fact, I'll take that back. I guess I'll take that back because it does work for both ways. With a woman, it definitely is a lot more work, because you have the challenges that relationships naturally come with, and then you have society that kind of tests you in your relationship. With a man, most of the time it's the men that ruin it. So I feel like.
Well, I just had Akon on here recently, and he said something very interesting.
Absolutely, I always believe that if women took the time to understand men more, they would rule the world.
Exactly. That's why I run my world, because I think like a man. A lot of my mentality is like a man. And yeah, that's why, for me to be with a man and make it work, I have to be with a real man.
Okay.
Hence why all my other relationships didn't work. You have to be with a real man. And when you have that mind state, when you have that mind state and you're a woman, and you have these smart tactics which come with analyzing and knowing what a man is and how they think and how they move, you automatically have an upper hand. So I totally agree with him on that.
Okay, so for example, one of the things that's always a conflict between men and women is that men like to have different sexual partners, and most women don't accept that. Do you, as a woman, accept that?
No. A relationship is 2 people.
Okay.
Definitely. You can, but it causes conflicts. A lot of conflicts, a lot more issues, And us women, we're naturally, sometimes we have insecurities. And when you bring someone else in, that just adds, more to the natural state of us having those insecurities, So, yeah, that's why relationships should always be between 2 people. But just between 2 people alone, there's always some type of conflict or issues and stuff. So imagine adding one more. That's like 3 times the trouble.
So you don't feel that it's possible for a man to be in love with one woman but have sex with other women and not be emotionally attached to those other women?
I mean,
because this is like the basic conflict.
No.
Like if you look at most women And and this is what me and Con were talking about. When you notice like the problems most women have with men, it's almost always that. It's always, oh, he's messing around, he's doing this, I don't trust him.
So what you're saying is that if us women accept that, it's easier. It shouldn't be that way, Because if it was the other way around, the man's not sticking around for us to have multiple partners. So why should we do it the other way? You know what I mean?
Well, but there's also like the basic difference between men and women. Like women naturally want to settle down, have children, and
right.
biologically there's different things going on. Whereas a man biologically is supposed to spread his seed and so forth. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. I'm just saying that this is what happens all around the world.
Yeah.
And
that's why marriage isn't as valued as it is as it's supposed to be. So that gives you, a lot to think about just in that, subject on that subject alone. Like marriages aren't lasting because, men are like, So therefore, it's like, when it comes to letting a man be a man, I believe that 100%. But it also comes a point where it's like, okay, a man has to step up and, want to be a kept man at some point. And being kept by several women is just, that's not realistic.
Well, when you say marriage isn't the same anymore,
it isn't. It doesn't
last.
But
you're just talking about marriage in America. Like, for example, if you go into like Muslim societies, it's accepted.
No, the Muslim religion is actually
wives.
one of the religions I just started learning about, and I find it to be so interesting because we're kind of taught in the States that Muslim men kind of like, belittle their women when they actually hold their women to a much higher power than we have ever thought about, in America, in our society. Our women are used as more as objects and, sex tools and, how do you say, the ticket to sell, you know what I mean? And market stuff. When in that religion, it's more of like they keep their women more reserved and protected so that they are always valued in the way that they're supposed to be. So, if men start thinking a little bit like that and start holding more value to their woman, they wouldn't want to be with anybody else. You know what I mean? Because they're so caught up in cherishing and valuing that one woman that they have. So that's why it's like, even for me, like if I was to ever be with in a relationship with a man again, I would want my man to kind of have that mind state, where he's okay with being with one woman, and this is coming from a woman that likes women,
Right.
Like, I'm never insecure when it comes to women. I love the ambience of having other women. Like, that like sets the tone. It's a natural sex appeal that you can't get anywhere in the world. Like we supply that as women naturally. But to be with a man that values just you, who you are and what you bring and, and hold you up to a higher power, it's kind of, it's a liberating feeling. And to be that woman that gets that from a man, there's no way to describe it.
Well, here's what's interesting about the Muslim religion and the whole, plural marriage thing, is that, from the outside, it sounds like, oh, like the man is just having his cake and eating it too. He's getting all these different women. But when you look at Muslim societies, men who have multiple wives, they're required to treat every wife equally in a similar fashion.
Yes,
meaning that like, you can't put the young wife in the mansion with you.
Men here in the States won't. They'll have the main. Yeah. Look at Peter Guns. Not to bring that up. And Amina's my homegirl, and she's the wife, and she still doesn't get the treatment that she deserves. So that just goes to show you, like, this is why it doesn't work for men here and men who don't practice that religion, because it's like they can't handle it. They're not man enough to have multiple wives and treat them all equally. Then that's why those men are able to pull it off, because they all feel equal, they all feel valued, and they're all, untouchable. And when you have women like that, what problems do you have? You're gonna let your man do as he please, goes with whichever wife he wants, because your line and your position. You guys are all equal. Here in America, that's not how it goes. Like, it's just not. Like, and it's sad to say, but even you'll find a man that has a wife, a side chick, baby mamas, this, that, and the third, and it's like, they all get treated like shit. And when you have the kid, you get treated worse. I've witnessed it several times in a relationship that I was in not too long ago, where the baby mother gets treated like straight garbage. But yet because, he's infatuated with me at the moment, he gives all high praises. But once, I'm no longer in the picture and I say deuces, I get that shitty treatment along with her and, everybody else. It's like men have this ego thing here in the States where it's like a woman can't boss up, because if he does, then she's all types of hoes and, this, that, and a third. And it's sad, but it's true. Men aren't man enough here.